The 796th edition of the MMA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up at Underdog Fantasy using promo code MMA SGPN to get up to $1,000 in bonus credits. And we're also brought to you by Edge Boost. Get up to $750 in cashback rewards each month when you sign up at edgeboost.bet and you use promo code SGPN.
Heidi Ho DeGenerino. Welcome to episode 796 of the MMA Gambling Podcast of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, dedicated to our friend in the Discord, Jackson Meehoff. I'm assuming Jack is short for Jackson, who was battling some nice weather the other day. Hopefully he survived it. We just had snow and a freezing rainstorm here. Thank you, Mother Nature. But it is 16 today being Thursday. So
that's 16 Canadian temperatures?
Yes, Canadian. So that's 63 your temperature, so kind of odd.
63? It was warm? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it went from a snowstorm on Wednesday to 63 degrees on Thursday. Thank you, global warming. Thank you for coming to the show, ladies and gentlemen. It's not a global warming podcast because global warming doesn't exist, right? Actually, a lot of our viewers probably would think that if they're MMA fans. But anyhow,
what did you just chastising everybody to start this?
No, I'm just making jokes. I am the ass grinder, Jeff Fox. That's what I do. I grind asses, Gumby. That's Gumby Vreeland. No, the Bryce Mitchells of the world probably don't think that global warming exists.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Anyhow, I'm done. I'm done chastising people. I think I'm combative because I know Gumby and I are gonna come do loggerheads at least on a couple fights on this card. First half of the card, the prelims, we agreed on everything. But I have a sneak peek of some of Gumby's picks, and I think we may disagree. So hopefully, I better get all my material and my stuff to back my argument ready, because Gumby's going to come at me, I think, right? It's just Gumby going for dogs. Gumby loves his dogs. And he loves freezing.
I do.
Are you frozen?
I love an underdog.
There you are. Okay. I thought you were frozen, but you're not. You're just stunned by me.
I wasn't. I think I was frozen there for a second, to be fair. Okay. But I could hear all the mean things you were saying about me liking an underdog. Yeah, and I do love an underdog. I do love an underdog. And
when they hit, it's a beautiful thing. Card.
Yeah, there's a couple on this. I might have hit every single underdog who won last weekend. So,
yep, the underdogs. Both of us are making. That's where we're making our money this year is underdogs. I am up. Before we dive into the picks, I'm up over $1,000 on underdogs, 1,100, and Gummy's up 950 on underdogs. Insane.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. All right, before we dive into the actual picks for this episode, let me remind you that the Masters is just around the corner. So Augusta is right around the corner, and SGPN is back with Splash Sports for a big contest, up to $30,000 in prizes and only $25 entry fee. $25 entry fee is poor English, Jeff. Get in today at splashsports.com/SGPN. That's splashsports.com/SGPN, and tune into the Golf Gambling Podcast, the Steffi Smalls Show, and Bottom Line Bombs for all your Masters picks. Boom. All right. Main card time. UFC. I didn't do the whole breakdown last time. What we're talking about UFC Fight 8, Emmett versus Murphy, going down this Saturday, April the 5th, in the UFC Apex, our favorite spot. ESPN Plus is where it's being broadcast. I think ESPN actually is, at least according to Tapology, or no, according to ESPN, the main ESPN's putting on the main card, which is an interesting choice for an Apex card. But nonetheless, you'll find it on one of the ESPN products this week, starting at 6 o'clock. That would be the prelims we just covered, 9 for the main card, and that's what we're doing today, 6 fights, and then hang around to the end so you can get our fancy plays. See if Gumby has all mine figured out before I actually tell the people them. All right, we're starting with middleweights. Like I said, this card is inverted. We have featherweights, 2 featherweights at the top, 2 middleweights at the bottom. That's usually not the way they do Apex cards. So we got a Swiss fighter, Robert Valentin versus Torrez Finney from the United States. The man that Dana White did not want to sign, but he finally got forced after he won 3 fights on Contender Series. So let's break her down. Valentin, Rob Zilla. Props for the nickname. He's 10-4, 3 knockouts, 6 submissions. He's been knocked out twice, submitted once. 0-1 in the UFC. He's won 4 of his last 5. Got TKO'd in his last fight, though. 2-0 the Ultimate Fighter, a regional champ. He's fight at 205, 6 inches of height, 2 inches of reach over Finney, because everyone is bigger than Finney. He's got outstruck.
Taller. Everybody is taller than Finney.
Finney is thick with 2 C's at the end. Valentin got outstruck in his debut by 6.01 strikes per minute, plus 220. The Punisher versus Robzilla. The Punisher is 10-0. 7 knockouts, 1 submission. This is his debut. 3-0 in Contender Series. TKO win in his last fight. Used to fight at heavyweight, which is crazy because he's short for welterweight or middleweight, excuse me. 3 years younger than Valentin. Better striking stats and 17 times more active landing strikes. But that's based off of one fight for Valentin where he got dominated. Finney outstruck his Contender Series opponents by 0.74 strikes per minute, minus 250. He finally got in the UFC, and then he got a favorable matchup, which is good because they really made him jump through some hoops here. I am taking Finney here. Just his power, he's just going to, and his pace, he's probably going to take Valentin down, and he's just going to grind on him either till the final bell rings or he TKOs him. So the Punisher is my pick.
I wouldn't be surprised if he finished him either. And maybe we'll talk about that a little bit later on. You know, I think, you know, you said it perfectly. It's like, this is a favorable matchup. We just saw the blueprint on how to beat Robzilla is grind him out, right? Like that's what Ryan Loder did. And like, I don't even know necessarily that I'm super sold on Ryan Loder as a prospect, but like his wrestling was good enough to like get it done here. And then like, you know, you get Torrez Finney, who's got the big slams and, you know, he's real aggressive on the mat. Like, you know, and you know, he finished 2 out of those 3 Contender Series opponents, right?
Not positive.
I know he tapped out. Sure. I know he tapped out Yuri Panferoth and he TKO'd Abraham El Rame, but I can't remember what he did to the one in the middle. It's wild. That he has 30. Oh, okay. Yeah. So he got one of everything while he was there.
Yep. True.
And so, like, yeah, I just think his wrestling's too good. Rob's going to be on his back pretty much the whole fight. And, you know, the other thing about Valentin is, like, he has, a history of doing pretty good in terms of submissions off of his back. I think he gets complacent there sometimes because he feels like he's being successful. And that's a real nightmare when you got somebody like Torrez Finney on top of you.
Yep. And that's pretty much how this fight's probably going to go. So Finney is our pick here. Welcome to the UFC, finally. We're sticking with middleweights. Gerald Meerschaert versus Brad Tavares in a U.S. versus U.S. battle. Tell you about Meerschaert first. He's the underdog. He's always the underdog. He's GM3 or the machine. You take your choice. 37-18. 6 knockouts, 29 submissions. He's been knocked out 4 times, submitted 9 times. He owes his rounds, this guy. 12-10 in the UFC. He's won 2 of 3, though, and 2 of 5. Got submitted in his last fight. Multiple regional championships on his
mantle.
Correct. Get a shirt, get our merch, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store. Try Madness at checkout. I guess if you fight 55 times, you're gonna pick up a couple belts here or there. Used to fight at 170 and 205. 2007 pro MMA debut. 0-2 in pro grappling. 3 inches reach over Tavares. Better grappling stats, not surprising, than Tavares. He has been outstruck in the UFC by 0.35 strikes per minute. He's at plus 210. Brad Tavares, 20-10. 5 knockouts, 2 submissions. He's been knocked out 5 times. 15-10 in the UFC. He's lost 2 straight before, and he's only won 1 of 5. 3-1 in the Ultimate Fighter. 2007 pro MMA debut. Better striking stats and more active landing strikes than Meerschaert. He's outstruck his opponents in the UFC by 0.12 strikes per minute. He's at minus 220. Now, Gubby's going to tell you why he's taking Gerald Meerschaert, because he always has to take Gerald Meerschaert. Always.
I don't have to, but I'm gonna. Yeah, I mean, like, Brad Tavares at this stage is getting slower, and his takedown defense is getting worse, and his ability to scare you away with jabs and, like, let's face it, not very much power has gotten even worse. And, like, look, Meerschaert is a guy who is not terribly complex when it comes to what he wants to do, but it hasn't stopped him from doing it to, like, some pretty good fighters who are a lot younger than Brad Tavares, right? Like, it was Edmund Shabazian that he just, like, dragged into deep waters and submitted with no problem. And, like, you know, I think Brad Tavares at this stage in his career, yeah, he might defend a couple of the early takedowns, but it's not like Meerschaert's going to stop coming forward and looking for him. And at a certain point in time, I don't know, Meerschaert's a submission threat for 15 minutes no matter what. And, like, does Tavares ever finish anybody? That means, like, he's got 15 minutes worth of chances to beat him here. And at plus 210, I think he finds at least one moment in there where he can get that.
Yeah, all good arguments. I'm still taking Tavares. Shockingly, I'm taking Brad Tavares. And the year of year of our Lord. Yord. There's our title, the year of our Yord. No, I'm offending people all around here, right? I'm saying the Lord's name wrong. I'm calling everyone flat earthers. The year of our Lord, 2025. I'm taking Brad Tavares as a over 2.2 times favorite. Gonna be better on the feet. Like you said, he's got the jab still. He does get taken down, but he's never been submitted ever. I know Meerschaert's a different cat when he does take you down.
Who has he fought that could have submitted him though?
I'm still taking him. I think he's going to be the better striker, and he doesn't get finished. If he gets finished here, then it'll be there's first time for everything. But I shouldn't say I don't think it's going to happen because Meerschaert tends to surprise everyone except Gumby. So he very well could get submitted, but I think more than likely he's going to win a decision victory. If you want to get a better line on this fight, than getting minus 220 on Brad Tavares. All right. Speaking of good lines and good stuff, let's tell you about some of our sponsors, shall we? Edge Boost. SGPN is partnered up with Edge Boost, the premier Visa debit card for bettors. The Edge Boost card allows you to avoid the hassle of having your card denied at the sportsbook, DFS site, sweepstakes site, or racetrack or casino. All very embarrassing spots to have your credit card denied. Plus, you can earn up to $750 per month in cashback rewards for using your Edge Boost card. And your money is safe as the card is FDIC insured. Best part is no credit checks and it's completely free. So sign up today at edgeboost.bet, promo code SGPN. And we are brought to you by mybookie.ag. MyBookie is your place to bet every sport, including Crown College basketball games. Plus props for every game. MyBookie accepts customers from a ton of locations. Easy to deposit and lightning fast payouts using crypto. Check out the Kyle Filipkowski lines and Al Horford. Don't worry, Al. We're not forgetting about you. And of course, they got all the UFC lines that we're speaking of today as well. Head to mybookie.ag, promo code SGP. No, MMA SGPN. MMA SGPN. For 100% deposit match up to $1,000. That's mybookie.ag, promo code MMA SGPN. Make sure you put the MMA part in so we get credit for it. All right. We are moving on. So there's going to be 3 fights we disagree on at least. We're really going off the rails with this episode. We're going to heavyweights next. I think we may be on the same page here. Kennedy Nzechukwu, he has a Nigerian flag beside it. Everyone's getting the flag of their ancestors beside them now in Tapology. Rather, he's American, is he not? Was he not born in the States and everything? I thought. No, he's born in Nigeria.
I think he was born in Nigeria.
Yeah, he's a Texan now, but yes, he was born in Nigeria. He's allowed to have the flag. Martin Buday, he is from one of the republics, Slovak Republic. They're fighting at heavyweight, big boys. They're not headlining for some reason, but them's the breaks. Baddies is Buday, which it translates to something. Did you know that? Did we? I don't think we talked about it. It translates to badass. Oh. I thought I just thought it was a play in his name, but no, Badys in Slovakian is badass. So there you go. Yes, badass Buday is 14-2, 6 knockouts, 3 submissions. He's been knocked out once, 5-1 in the UFC, 13-1 over his last 14. He did win his last fight. He went 1-0 in Contender Series. He is the former Octagon champion to the 2015 Pro MMA debut. Based on their last 2 fights, he was 28 pounds heavier than Nzechukwu. He has been outstruck in the UFC and the Contender Series by 0.7 strikes per minute. He's a plus 285. The American Savage. See, American. It says it right there. He's 14-5. 10 knockouts, 1 submission. He's been knocked out twice, submitted once. 8-5 in the UFC. He's won 2 straight. Before that, he lost 2 straight. His past 2 wins have come via TKO. I used to fight at 205. He's now a big boy. As Gumby has said on other episodes and his other podcasts, he put on his weight correctly, though. Not like some of his teammates, not naming any names. He's went 2-0 in Contender Series. An inch height, 6 inches reach over Buday. More active landing strikes, better grappling stats. He's outstruck his opponents by 0.48 strikes per minute. He's at minus 333.
Yeah, I'm going to go Kennedy Nzechukwu. I think, the reach is going to be a big piece here. Martin Buday kind of he'll fight the thing I don't like about Martin Buday is he will fight the fight his opponent wants. You can look back to his fight with Andrei Arlovsky. That's a perfect instance. Andrei Arlovsky was like, let's turn this into a point fight.
Okay.
From distance. And he was like, that's swell. And damn near lost a split decision to a 45-year-old man. So what does that mean? He's going to stand and trade at distance with Kennedy Nzechukwu, who's got 6 inches of reach on him and hits a whole hell of a lot harder than he does. On top of that, if you want to say that, maybe Buday turns over a leaf and goes for the takedown or tries to press him against the cage. Kennedy is just way more athletic, way stronger, way better in those situations. You got to imagine Save Side has dialed it up for a good game plan here. I'm going to go Kennedy Nzechukwu.
As am I. I think I was supposed to go first, but I paused and I let you go first. But yes, Kennedy is my pick as well.
You can go first on the next one if you want.
No, I don't want to. I want you to do your next one first. Yeah, I'm taking Nzechukwu. Pretty much for all the reasons Gummy said. He's looked good at heavyweight as well. And Buday, he's another one of those guys. You look at his resume, and you're like, wow, there's a lot of bad heavyweights. We've had a lot of these recently. He's fought every bad heavyweight they have.
Is it like Jared Van Dera?
Arlovsky, he lost to Gaziev. He beat Parisian, Collier, Brzeski, Chris Barnett. Yeah, so a lot of washouts in the UFC, or fighters who stayed way too long, longer than they should have in the UFC. So yeah, Nzechukwu is the pick here. All right, next fight is a bantamweight fight. Cortavious Romious versus Chang Lee, America versus South Korea. Romious, are you not entertained? Is the nickname with a question mark. 9-3, 2 knockouts, 5 submissions. He's been knocked out once. 0-1 in the UFC, 2-1 over his last 3, 5-2 over his last 7. He did lose his last fight. 1-1 in Contender Series. He's fought at 145 and 160. Better grappling stats than Lee. He's been outstruck by 0.92 strikes per minute for the fights we have stats for. He's at plus 120. Lee is 10-1, 4 knockouts, 2 submissions. Never been finished in a fight. 1-0 in the UFC. He went 2-0 on the road to UFC and won the championship. Won 4 straight fights, 3 straight via TKO. He's not lost since April 2022. He went 1-0 in one championship, the biggest promotion in the world. Used to fight down at flyweight, 4 inches taller, an inch of reach over Romious. Better striking stats, twice more active landing strikes. He's outstruck his opponents by 2.25 strikes per minute. He's at minus 129. We'll let you go first, since you should have already.
I'm going to go Chang Lee. I had originally thought I was going to go Cortavious Romious.
Me too.
Like, I went back and I watched his fights, and like, my biggest issue is just like, first of all, he's very hittable, and he's very wild, but also like, I know his jiu-jitsu is good, but like, I don't necessarily love his like takedown defense. Like, if you watch the people he's beat, like he beat Michael Imperato, who like ran out of gas and is like old, like real old. You know, he beat Eric Vo, who's like a, halfway decent regional guy. But like, if you watch, he got starched by Ramon Tavares right away. He, didn't have an answer for Gaston Bolanos in his last fight. I mean, like, you can even go back to his loss to Jornel Lugo back when he was on the regional scene. And like that fight too, he's just like, it felt like he couldn't get going. And it felt like he was like worried about the takedowns, even though his jiu-jitsu is good. And Chang Lee is got really good takedowns. Like, he continues to be an exceptional wrestler. I think, in terms of power, you're probably talking about an advantage for Romious, but like, also, I think Lee is smart enough to stay safe and to press him against the cage and wear him down. So I'm going to go Chang Lee. I think he's going to grind one out here.
Yeah. I was thinking about Romious as well, but yeah. Looking things over, reading things, watching film.
You watched the Gaston Bolanos fight, and we're just like,
no, I didn't see that one, but yeah, Lee, I think he's got a better gas tank. He can really grind this one out if need be. It's probably gonna be a grappling fight, and he's a better grappler, I think, is when it comes right down to it. So give me Lee here. Less wild too, so there's a good chance Romious is going to put himself in positions to get taken down frequently if it takes more than one takedown. So I think Lee is the pick here as well, despite the good nickname and the good name overall for Cortavious. Are you not entertained, Romious? Co-main event, nothing but featherweights the rest of the way through. Joanderson, Brito from Brazil, Pat Sabatini from the United States of America. And that's break her down by telling you about the American Sabatini, 19-5, 2 knockouts, 12 submissions. He's been knocked out 3 times. 6-2 in the UFC, lost win over his last 4. Won his last fight via submission. He's got multiple regional championships on his
mantle.
Correct. Get the shirt, get her merch, get her gear. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store. Madness is your code. Used to fight at 150, 2014 pro MMA debut, 2-0 in pro grappling. Better striking stats than Brito. He's outstruck his opponents by 0.47 strikes per minute, plus 205. Tubarão, which is a shark in Brazil. 17-4-1, 7 knockouts, 8 submissions. He's been knocked out once, submitted once. 5-2 in the UFC. He's won 5 of 6, but he did lose his last fight. 1-0 in Contender Series. Multiple regional championships on his
mantle.
Correct. Get the shirt, get a merch, get all that good stuff. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store. Madness at checkout might get you 20% off. Used to fight at 155, 135. 2013 pro MMA debut. 2 inches of breach over Sabatini. 5 years younger. More active landing strikes. He's outstruck his opponents by 0.32 strikes per minute, minus 225. Now we're going to start disagreeing on things. I'm taking Brito here. Better striker. I always think better striker, but the extra part is here. He's also at least a good scrambler. Maybe he's not a better grappler, or he's definitely not a better wrestler than Sabatini. Maybe he's equal as a grappler. Good scrambling, dangerous on the ground. But the main piece is he's way better and more dangerous on the feet. Sabatini's basically a grappling specialist here. So give me Brito.
He is a grappling specialist, but I think it's good enough. The big piece for me is like, just take both their fights with Jonathan Pierce.
MMA
one
math.
of them. Yeah, well, but that's not MMA
Not really.
math, though.
No, it's not.
MMA math is when you're like A beat B and B beat C,
Mhm.
so A beat C. No, I'm talking about just we're doing an evaluation of their grappling skills. One of them picked up Jonathan Pierce, ragdolled him all over the mat, took his back, and choked him in 3 minutes. The other one pretty much got dominated by Jonathan Pierce early in that fight. Now, granted, after he was taunted, he stood up and choked Jonathan Pierce. Jonathan Pierce was an idiot. But up until that point, he was badly out-wrestled and seemingly couldn't get up. Now, if Jonathan Pierce can just decide, hey, I don't let you up and I'm going to hold you down and stay that way, I really think Pat Sabatini can too. And he's going to have to avoid the shots early. To your point, I think Brito is a much better striker. He's definitely more electric. But like, if he can avoid those strikes and turn this into a grappling match, it should be Sabatini all day. Like, he should just dominate the grappling. So I'm going to go Sabatini here.
All right. There you go. I haven't told you. I haven't done the last ad reads yet, have I? Let's do them right now because it is time for Gumby's bonus underdog pick'em play of the episode. Underdog pick'em, you can play any sport and win up to 100 times your money. What sport are we playing today, Gumby?
Well, we'll stick with baseball. If you want to wait until Friday to get down on Underdog Fantasy, Jack Flaherty is going to be throwing against the White Sox. And guess what's good for pitchers? Throwing against the White Sox. I'm going to take the higher than on Jack Flaherty's strikeout total up against the White Sox. I imagine we're going to see like a 5.5 projection, maybe a 6.5 projection. I think he's going to go way higher than that. So give me Jack Flaherty's higher than on his strikeout numbers.
All right, take Gumby's advice, take my advice, and use your code MMA SGPN when you go to Underdog Fantasy. And if you do that, you can get a special pick and first time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus credits. So UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code MMA SGPN. And Rhythm is your home for AI picks and props. Rhythm is now live for Major League Baseball. Plus, they got models for NBA and golf. Check out the call Philip Kowski. I'm having trouble saying his name. I shouldn't. I say it every episode. Philip Kowski's prop plays while you can. And now, of course, Al Horford prop plays all the way through. Sign up today for a 7-day free trial at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. And now to our main event. We're sticking with the featherweights. Josh Emmett versus Lerone Murphy. U.S. versus England. We'll tell you about the American first. CC0 or CCO is Emmett's nickname according to Tapology. What is that, Gumby? What does that mean?
Dicarbon monoxide? Is that?
Yeah. Is that what his nickname is?
I don't
Didn't
know.
he have a weird nickname? Like he was he has some weird nickname before, I think. Some kind of like ancient people or something he was named after, I thought. Did he not?
That does not strike a bell even the slightest.
No? or does he just look odd? And that's what it makes me think of it. I can't remember what his old nickname was. Someone hit us up and let me know I'm not crazy. And yeah, I'll tell you about Josh Emmett. Regardless of his nickname, he's 19-4, 7 knockouts, 2 submissions. He's been knocked out once, submitted once. So very durable, as I like to say. 10-4 in the UFC. However, he's only won 1 of 3 and 6 of 8. KO win in his last fight. Oh, that was back in December 2023. He's not lost since June 2023. He's missed weight before at 145. He has multiple regional championships on his
mantle.
Correct. Get a shirt, get a merch at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store. Madness is your code at checkout. Used to fight at 155 and 165, 2011 pro MMA debut. He's been outstruck by 0.57 strikes per minute in the UFC. He's at plus 270. Lerone Murphy, the Miracle or the Iceman? You take your pick. 15-0-1 with 7 knockouts, 7-0-1 in the UFC. He has won 7 straight fights. He's a regional champ. He's fed at 155. 3 inches height, 3 inches reach over Emmett, 6 years younger, better striking stats, more active landing strikes, and better grappling stats. He's outstruck his opponents by 2.13 strikes per minute, minus 325. The line is getting wider.
Yeah, I'm going to let that line get wider and wider while I take Josh Emmett. And I know a lot of people are probably going to be shocked by taking Josh Emmett, but like, I mean, I really do think this is one of those ones where we're seeing a levels to this game. Because, yeah, Lerone Murphy beat 150-year-old, Edson Barboza. But, like, we watched Josh Emmett go 25 hard minutes in a striking match with Calvin Cater in Live to Tell the Tale. And, like, he didn't do that with Yair Rodriguez or Ilia Topuria. Yeah, like maybe the two best dudes in the division. Actually, did he go to decision with Topuria too? He did go to decision.
I just had it on my screen.
I think he went to decision with Topuria.
Correct.
Yeah, and like in that fight with Yair Rodriguez too, he had Yair in bad situations early in that fight before he eventually got caught in the triangle choke. And so, like, look, I know this guy has got an absolute missile for a right hand. He puts people to sleep, and he's up in there against a guy who, I don't know, does Lerone Murphy finish anybody? Like, does he have any finishing power?
It's been a while. Yeah,
and like never against the dude who's super high level. And as you mentioned, Josh Emmett, really tough guy to go in there and finish. So, like, I think we got a guy with big punching power who's going to have a lot of chances to hit this guy. And like we've seen Lerone Murphy get tagged a little bit, like, right? Like we saw him get hit by, what was it, Gabriel Santos? I actually think he lost that fight with Gabriel Santos. If you go back and watch, like I totally fine giving a decision to Santos in that fight. And like, again, we're talking about levels to this thing. One had Yair Rodriguez hurt and went the distance with Ilia Topuria. One possibly lost the decision to Gabriel Santos. And like, I get that he's better than that now and he's put on better performances, but it's still a guy who takes shots sometimes against the guy who just had one of the most vicious knockouts I've ever seen in my whole life, where he just absolutely deaded a guy with one hand. And he's done that a bunch of times too, right? Like the Michael Johnson fight, the Bryce Mitchell fight. Like when he hits that one shot, he puts people to sleep. And I like how many chances he's going to have in this fight to do just that.
Yeah, definitely there's a path to victory. I am in on Murphy. The only person that Emmett has beat over the past 3 years is Bryce Mitchell. He's 40 years old. He hasn't fought for a while. And Murphy has slowly, they've kind of slow played him. He beat Barboza. He beat Ige. And so he's moving
got taken down a bunch against Ige too.
Yeah.
That's another piece too that I like about Josh Emmett. He sneakily has some good wrestling.
Murphy lands more takedowns than Emmett does. So
against
Murphy,
who? Against who?
Well, old people, but people that you're talking about how old Barboza is, younger than Josh Emmett. Josh Emmett's 40. So
but he's got a lot less mileage on him than Barboza did.
Yeah.
Barboza's got a lot of mileage on him.
Obviously, the knockout power is going to last, but I think Murphy can hopefully dance his way. But it's going to be dangerous. A dangerous 25 minutes. Can't put faith in a 40-year-old guy who's been on the shelf for so long. And
I can do that. You can't.
You can and you will. So, all right, let's recap before we get you our fancy plays. He's got Emmett. I got Murphy. He's got Sabatini. I got Brito. We both have Lee. We both have Nzechukwu. I have Tavares. He has Meerschaert. We both have Finney. All right, locks, dogs, props, parlays, all that fun stuff. I think it's my turn to kick it off. My lock. Do you know all mine? Are you going to guess?
Is it Daniel Franza?
No, Alan Carr.
Okay.
Talita Alan Carr minus 110. So I'm getting a real good value lock pick here.
Hey, you're going crazy. I'm gonna take Torrez. I'm gonna take Torrez Finney.
Okay.
I think he's probably the safest play on this whole card. And I can tell you who your dog is because you only got one that you really care about, and that's Davey Grant.
It is Davey Grant,
and he's mine too. I'm gonna take Davey Grant as mine. Too. We'll
listen yesterday if you want to know why, or check out my article on sportsgamblingpockets.com on Davey Grant. For my prop play, do you know, since you've admitted that you don't read anything I write, you didn't see it on the site, do you know what my prop's going to be?
I don't know. You just said somebody by decision, right? You said that on yesterday's episode.
Yes, I did.
Luma Lookboome decision?
Yes, Sufasara Konlak, aka Luma Lookboome via decision, minus 165, way better than what's her money line when we recorded was minus 649. It's nuts that it's this much lower because that's the only way that she wins fights is via decision. So if you're going to bet her via decision, minus 165.
I also said I wouldn't be surprised if she hurt her with knees and finished her, but hey,
Nunez has been TKO'd in 2 straight fights, so maybe that's why it's as low as it is.
For sure. Speaking of KOs, I'm going to take Daniel Franza, the aforementioned by KO. Plus 155 on him to win by knockout. And I think if he beats Reese McKee, it's probably got to be that way anyway. And he's a pretty big favorite. So give me Daniel Franza's knockout.
Someone's getting knocked out in that fight for sure. All right. So Finney and Alencar are our locks. Grant is our dog. Franza via knockout. Luke Bloomy via decision are our prop place. Now, Hungerman Jong, Superfan, what?
Round robin.
Okay.
You want to get crazy? I'm doing
Let's get
only
crazy.
submissions. I think this is a submission heavy card. I'm going to take 5 different fighters that I think might win by submission, with big odds on them. And you're just going to have to hit 2 of them in order to break even, 3 of them for a big payday. 4 and 5, obviously, just absolute windfalls. So the ones I like, Pat Sabatini. I mentioned I think he's going to be in good grappling positions all night. And he's already a underdog, but you can get plus 400 on him by submission. And I think that 4-1 number is a pretty good one. Ditto with Gerald Meerschaert. And I know you're off of both of those dogs, but look, I think if both of them win, they both have pretty good paths to victory there. He's plus 400 as well. Now to get a little steeper here, I'm going to go Torrez Finney by submission. And I know he's a TKO guy and he's only got 1 submission, and it was the Yuri Panfarov one. But he's up against a guy who dawdles a little bit on the feet. I think is going to give up his back. Would not be surprised to see Torrez Finney get a choke. It's 6-1 on him to win by submission.
Nice.
Also 6-1, a guy we took in the prelims, Falcao. Pedro Falcao is 6-1 to win by submission, and the guy is a damn good grappler. And I think people are sort of underrating how good he is on the mat. I think he could drag this one down and win by submission. And then the last one I'm going to take by submission, you're locked to lead Alencar by submission. What do you think the subline is on her, knowing how good she is at jiu-jitsu?
Yeah, I didn't check that because the fight was so close. I just took her money line. Plus 210.
725.
What? Why? I guess.
I don't know.
3 out of 5. So that's weird.
let's throw it in there, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And so when we throw all of those in there, you're gonna get, again, 2 of them will break even, 3 of them will be a nice payday. If you hit 4 of them, you can go out to a fancy dinner, and 5 of them is going to be plus or 770 to 1. Nice. So pretty nice payday.
Yes. All right. So all subs: Sabatini, Meerschaert, Finney, Falcao, and Alencar. All right, you're all set for the weekend. Check out our regional episodes we've already done. There's MMA tonight. PFL is back tonight. There's MMA tomorrow. There's MMA Saturday. We got you covered. Check us out on YouTube, MMA Gambling Podcast. If you want to watch videos of all this and or comment on stuff, check us out in the Discord, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. Check us out on the the X, aka Twitter. SGPN MMA is the handle. He's at Gumby Vreeland. I'm at Jeff Fox Writer there and on Instagram. Now that we told you who's going to win, go to my Substack, enter my free pick'em contest, and win prizes. That would be moneymma.substack.com. You can listen to more Gumby and not more Jeff at Top Turtle MMA Podcast. And you can also listen to who?
Luis Garul, who's on this card, and Jaylene Robledo, who fights tomorrow night on Invicta 61.
And Shockwave Dave for all all you fans out there. And of course, sportsgamblingpodcast.com, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store madness. Try that at checkout for 20% off. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon for bonus content. Back with our regional run of events starting on Sunday. Gumby will bid you farewell till then.
All right, I'm Jada Gumby Vreeland. He's the Canadian Savage Jeff Fox, and we will see you on Sunday.